I was having a chat with my neighbour yesterday about how guitar players choose guitars because of how they look. And the guitar I'm going to talk about in this video is a prime example of that. This is the Hartwood Charger. And boy, is it beautiful. I know what you're thinking. It is a pink guitar. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it is, but Hartwood call it Strawberry Milkshake. And what a great choice of name for that. If you're not into pink guitars, these do come in other colours, but I am into pink guitars, which is why I chose this one. And oh my goodness, is it specced to the nines. It's got specs on this that do not belong on a guitar at this price point. We're talking locking tuners, we're talking roasted maple bound neck, we're talking an older body, and well, I don't know if the pickups are any good. We're going to find out about that right now. Cleans first. I'm going to go through the Fender Deluxe Reverb and show you a little ditty on all pickup settings. Here we go. That is a solid sounding double humbucker setup. But it does not stop there because you can split the coils. Put it back on the bridge. This is now coil split. You might be hearing a slight pop there. I'm hearing it. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of magical static charge built up inside the guitar, or if it is indeed a switching problem. It's me, I'm just being a bit violent with the switch. I'm smiling a lot, and there's a big reason for this. Yes, I think it sounds fantastic, clean, but also this is quite a fat neck. And that is unusual on budget guitars. Usually, let's say 99% of budget guitars come with a modern C neck, which is fine for most people. It is the universal fit. It does not fit my hand. I can get on with modern C, but I prefer a little bit more fatness. And this is like a 59 Les Paul feel. It is a C apparently, but there's a lot more wood there than on a regular, what I would call C-shaped neck. Also, have you seen this joint yet? That paint joint makes me feel funny things in my tummy. It's just specced so well. I'm enjoying it so much. And no, it is not perfect aesthetically. There are some issues with it, and I will go over that in a little bit. But let's put it through my Plexi style amp now and hear it quite Plexi-ness. Quite fuzzy, in fact, on this setting, if it sounds like I think it's going to sound. It is thick and woolly on that neck setting. It's nice and full on the bridge. I think that's going to sound better for this sound with that split. All right, what I dig is that when you split the coils, it's not trying to sound like a Strat, or it's not trying to sound like a single coil. It is very authentically a split coil sound, which is slightly thinner than the humbucker, but it doesn't lose that humbucker tone. It doesn't become something entirely different. It stays what it is, but just has more clarity. So it's not trying to be overly versatile. This guitar is not saying, hey, I'm a Strat and I'm a Les Paul type thing in a vintage wrapping. It has its own voice and it does it beautifully. And all that does is give you more clarity, or less clarity, depending on which setting you're going to put it on. And on the bridge, that is valuable, very valuable. Oh no, my disc space is getting low. I better stop that, actually. Right, let's back off the playing for a moment. We'll go over the specs. This is the Hartwood Charger. It is coming in at £249, which is kind of ridiculous. We have an alder offset body. This is a gloss poly finish. We're looking at strawberry milkshake here. There are several other colors available. I will make sure they are on screen right now with their respective names. And then we'll go up to the roasted maple fretboard, or rather the roasted maple neck, I should say. And then that fretboard is thermally treated maple ply. And color-wise, it puts it somewhere in between maple and rosewood. Feel-wise, it feels more like ebony, which is a massive favorite of mine. So if you love ebony fretboards, you're going to enjoy this. There's a very Gibson-ness about this neck, which is kind of weird because it also has 24 frets, 2 full octaves. The radius is 14 inches. What is 647.7 millimeters in inches? And then keeping it more in the Gibson sense, we've got white pearloid blocks, which I think looks stunning. But the neck is, or the guitar is 25.5-inch scale length, which is the Fender scale length, not Gibson. The strings on there are 10 to 46, and this is a Graphtec new bone nut, so they have not cheaped out on that. Then up the way to the headstock, we've got these locking tuners, which are an absolute dream to use. In tuning this earlier, they feel fluid, they feel responsive. There is no need to have any other type of tuner on this guitar, and I would be very happy if every budget and less budget guitar came with these tuners. They're brilliant. Also at this price point, you're probably expecting a bolt-on neck. It's not. It's a set neck, and it's set in there wonderfully with, again, this paint line that makes me feel funny things. I really enjoy how they've married the neck to the body on this guitar. We've got an output jack down here. Oh, that is tight. Right, it's out now. It works. It's very tight, as you can see, or is that the jack socket? That feels higher quality than most of the jacks I've plugged into recently. That's weird. It's a weird sentence, isn't it? And then, of course, the rest of the hardware is also chrome. We've got volume, tone. That is the pushy pulley for your splitting of the coils of these two humbuckers, which are just called chrome-covered humbuckers. So I have no idea what's in there. We'll measure them a little bit later in the video and find out what their DC output is. While shooting the nice pretty shots of the Charger, I noticed that the pickup routing could be a little bit better. So if you're really paying attention to detail, the routing of these humbuckers is not spot on, and some of the paintwork around there could be better, but at this price, it does not bother me at all. We've got a three-way switch just here, and this is the Tune-o-matic bridge with stop tail. Another thing that many budget guitars don't pay attention to is the strap buttons on here. They're not locking strap buttons, but I'm looking for a strap. I'll find one later. They've got a big end on them, meaning that your strap isn't going to come, or shouldn't come off, rather than those sort of, the ones that look like that, and then the strap just falls off when you look at it. I really dig those. Those are going to help for people that jump around the stage, like me. And when you put all those specs together, and you don't charge much money for it, you surprisingly come out with an extremely comfortable, very slick feeling guitar that has only one problem with it that I've discovered so far, and that is that when I have it switched into the bridge position, every time I bend down, it changes the switching, which probably isn't a guitar problem, it's probably a me problem. So unless you're in the situation where you need to do that, you'll be fine. I do need to do that, so it happens. If you're standing up playing, you'll be fine completely. This is almost certainly a problem that no one else will have. I also dig the headstock, by the way. It's nicely shaped, and there's this kind of Rickenbacker thing going on with that huge pickguard. And aesthetically, I do have to point out that I'm not a fan of the bright white pickguard material that looks like a toilet seat to me. I've mentioned this on several Ibanez guitars that I just think it doesn't quite work. Personal preference, I would prefer if that was a creamier color, and maybe even plain, to offset this sort of pinky, shell pinky, strawberry milkshake body. I'd like to see a plain, almost mint green, creamy color on there. I think that would work wonderfully. But aesthetically, I think it borrows a lot from Reverend guitars, as well as a Jazzmaster, as well as retro designs from Yonder Year. Is that a word? Yonder Year? I think it is. We'll pretend it is. I just really dig it. It is quite heavy. We'll measure it later and weigh it. I'm just holding it like that thinking, crikey, that's a workout. One thing you might not expect this to do is to do high gain really well, but as I've had this guitar for a while, this is not an out-of-the-box review. I haven't changed it in any way, but I have played it in other videos, and I did actually review the Hartwood Charger amp and case and the whole all-in-one packet that you can get. That is a different guitar to this. So the other Charger I reviewed before in that pack, I'm pretty sure it had a bolt-on neck, but it was not the same guitar. It was not. This is the deluxe version of that, and I think Hartwood have gone nuts with it. There's a lot of positive opinion in this. I did it again. Right, I'm going to show you the high gain stuff I was doing earlier with my dual rectifier. Oh, I can hear the hiss already. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. It doesn't do it so well on the neck, as you'd expect, because it starts to get all muddy. But do that, and you're back in clean territory. It is fun, and I think I've spent more time having fun with this guitar than I've had in many previous videos. The guitars I've played recently have been superb, but they've been a little bit higher priced, so they should be superb. This is 250 quid, and it's pink. Sorry, strawberry milkshake. Right, I'm going to stop with the shenanigans of the high gain, and we're going to get my measuring device and find out what the output of these pickups are, because apparently this is a vintage guitar. Good Lord, or vintage voiced. I'm curious. So, put that on there, and we pointed at the camera so you can see. Can you see that? There we go, right. So, we're starting off with the bridge, and we are in full humbucker mode. That is 14.1. I wouldn't say that's vintage voiced, or maybe for a humbucker. Then we're going up to the neck. That is 7.6. In the middle, we're looking at 5.0. If we go back to the bridge and split that, we're going to get 7.2. Up to the neck split, we're going to get 3.8. And in that middle, 2.5. Ah, that is quite a shock, actually. I didn't expect... Is that right? I didn't expect that bridge to be 14 point something. Good Lord. Good. But it is. Okay. What about weight? Because this is not a heavy beast. I'll go get my scale. Right. Turning it on, making sure that it's in kilograms, and making sure it's at 0. We have 3.65 kilos. That is a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. 3.65. Put that into pounds and ounces, and it's 8. 8 exactly. I'll admit it feels a lot heavier than that. Maybe it's because it's a bit compactor. Compactor? More compact. But I dig it. I think it's a phenomenal guitar that needs to go on a strap to find out if it balances. I think the couch has moved back a little bit from where I've been jumping around so excitedly. Okay, putting the strap on, and it does go over those strap buttons. Lovely. Although that's a bit funk length. That's a bit more respectable. Oh yes. That is grunge length. It is perfectly balanced. Goodness gracious. I have no choice in this. I need to play it through a Rat style pedal, and I need to play it through my favorite Rat style pedal, the Iron Horse version 3 from Walrus Audio. Give me a moment. It has that glorious pickup clink-a-clink. This can be a blues guitar, it can be a grunge guitar, it can be a high-gain metal-y guitar, and it's strawberry milkshake. Although I do quite dig, there's one other colour that I dig. It's the black, is it black or red? There's a red one with a Bigsby style. So if you dig this and you want even more vintage looking, maybe have a look at that. Have a look at it. There are links in the video description and in the first comment. I have had an absolute blast playing this, and I shall continue to play it in future videos. And when I do, I'll have a smile on my face. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.